Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I was about to make this dish and I thought, you know what, let me share a video on this because you never know, somebody might want to try it and try it out and see for themselves if they like it. So what I'm making spicy Borlotti beans, and this is more on an Indian side rather than a Mexican side, because I know Borlotti beans, a lot of people cook them using Mexican themed spices, but I'm doing more of an Indian type of curry. So it's more like an Indian Borlotti bean curry. What I've done now literally is just slice some onions quite finely, and then I've just added some chopped tomatoes. So I like using fresh tomatoes or canned tomatoes, I don't mind. So I use the canned tomatoes on this occasion. At this time of, because of what's going on, I'm not getting fresh tomatoes as often as I usually do, so I'm just using canned ones and be fine. And because I'm using 1 can of beans, I use literally a couple of tablespoons of this. I used 1 medium-sized onion, sliced it, and then just added about a quarter of the can. I don't like adding too much of the tomatoes because I think it's quite bitter. And then I added just half a teaspoon of my minced garlic. I like using this minced garlic. It's nice, it's fresh. Well, it's nice, I like it. Not fresh, it's obviously in a jar. So I use just a half a teaspoon of this. I like garlic, but not too much when I'm making this dish. So basically just made sure that the onions were soft, translucent before I added the garlic, and then just cooked that for about a minute just to fry, but you don't want to burn it. And then I've added the tomatoes, the tin tomatoes, and what I'm doing now is just cooking that. And what I'm about to do now is to add a little bit of ginger paste. I'm just going to add about a quarter teaspoon of ginger. So literally this amount in there, and the smell that's coming through already is amazing. So, and I'm just gonna cook that on low heat, and I like low heat because I think it brings out the flavors a lot more, because you're unlikely to burn anything. Cook that for about a minute, and that will help to bring the sweetness of the ginger and the garlic nicely, and to cook the tomatoes. Just a smashing of tomatoes as I go. This is one of my favorite meals, and it's a vegan meal because to start off with I actually just used some extra virgin olive oil. You can use whatever oil you want, but this is what I had, and I don't like to waste, so I'm finishing that up. But quite often I use rapeseed oil or sunflower, any oil that you like actually, because the spices are going to take over the oil, so it doesn't matter if you use olive oil, because I know it's quite a powerful oil and very flavoursome, but this will do. So as you can see, the tomatoes are changing in colour, and that happens as they're cooking. And that means they're almost ready for the next step. I love this dish, and I eat it with so many things. So good, and it can be good as a side dish. It can be good as the protein. So if you're vegetarian or a vegan, this dish is great. It's so versatile. But even for meat eaters, it's perfect as an accompaniment for your meal. So So anyway, so that's done. And the next step is I'm going to add this spice mix. So it's a medium curry jar. I love this one. It's very good. But you can use whatever you want. And if you want to make up your own, this is what it contains. It's got some wheat bran that's just to keep the spices separate and they don't clump together. But the main things are coriander, turmeric, chili, methi, which is fenugreek, and cumin. So if you want to make up your own, if you want to make up your own mix, just add some coriander, turmeric, chili, methi, which is fenugreek, and cumin, and you'll have your own spice mix, which is similar to this one. So, turn it down, won't burn anything. So this one is foil wrapped, which is why I like it, and I always close it up with this to make sure that the spices stay flavored and spicy. So I know I'm just pouring it in, but I'm adding literally about a teaspoon of spice. So always seal your spices. Don't leave them open because then they lose the flavor, they lose their aroma, and they're just not as good as if, they were closed off like this. So I'm just gonna fry the spices. Just you want to release the aroma, you want to release the taste before you add any sort of liquid. So with spices, they do need a little bit of liquid to them, and the tomatoes, which is why I add the tomatoes first. Otherwise they will burn and that won't taste good. This, I have to say, smells absolutely wonderful now. The combination is just amazing. And I'm using Borlotti beans, but if you wanted, you could buy dry ones, soak them and cook them first. But I went for convenience. Literally just drain them, and now I'm just putting them in there. Don't want to waste anything, and just mixing that. At this stage, then I just add a little bit of salt, not too much, because the spices will add the flavor. There's nothing worse than food which is too salty, so that's more than enough. Just throw a little sprinkling, and then just gonna mix that thoroughly. Make sure that everything is mixed well. And you know what? We are actually approaching the end of this. So the heat up a little bit to make sure it goes. So what I do is just add a little bit of water, because then that will ensure that the vegetables are cooked, the onions and the tomatoes are cooked properly, and you don't want to burn anything. So just add a little bit of water just to give it a bit of liquid, a bit of leeway, and then mix that. If you want to make a gravy, for example, if you're going to eat this with rice, then you can just add a bit more, which is probably I'm going to do. So I'm just adding a tiny bit of water. You don't want to add too much, because then that just takes away the flavor. So this is really just to put enough, just to have a little bit of gravy and to make sure that the vegetables will be cooked. And that, now I've mixed that all. Low heat. And I'm just going to cover that. Bring the temperature right down, simmer that for about 5 minutes, and believe it or not, we'll be done. So what I'll do, I'll come back when it's done and it's ready, and I'll show you. Hello everybody, welcome back. So this is it. This is the end result. So as you can see, it looks delicious. It smells delicious. I've had a bit of a taste and it tastes delicious. It just smells wonderful, tastes wonderful. This is amazing. So I'm gonna have that with some rice and maybe a little bit of coleslaw just to jazz it up a little bit. But I'm really looking forward to this meal. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that. I hope you make it. If you do, comment in the comment section below. Come back to me and let me know if you've made this before or something similar. Again, I'd love to know. Or if you have another recipe of your own which you think would be great for me to try, then by all means share. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. And I'll see you soon. Sign up for notifications because then you'll know the next time I have a video up. But thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. Hit the subscribe button. See you later, my darlings. Bye.